And welcome everyone to Star Trek Livingstone, Season 3, Episode 11. Give me now leave to leave thee is the episode name. It's been a hot minute. We've been away on our little sabbatical, but we're back now. At least most of us are back. No Amy, wishing Amy well, who's just busy tonight, but not very busy at all because he's in the quietest part of the UK at the moment. We've got Alastair. Edinburgh's really quiet right now, isn't it?
Nothing happening here at all, Stu.
No,
definitely no doubling of the city's population occurring right now.
Is it only doubled? If I had to guess, I would have guessed way more than that.
I believe it is slightly over doubled. If the last statistics were accurate, so it's a little bit more, but I believe not like loads more. Right. Feels like loads more, but
yes.
Probably not.
If anybody's wondering what the hell we're talking about, it is Edinburgh Fringe because it is August.
Edinburgh Fringe, indeed, and all the side festivals that happen as well. The Edinburgh International Film Festival and the Jazz and Blues Festival and the Edinburgh Book Festival, and it all happens this month. So, busy time.
Yeah,
it is very good of Edinburgh to get all of its festivals out of the way in 1 month. That's really useful.
It definitely is for those of us who live here. Yeah.
I'm envious as hell. It's been 4 years because I had a show up there back in 2019. I haven't been since. Ooh. But not to worry. We have Ed with us looking very snazzy in his lower decks uniform there.
Oh, well, thank you very much. I can't possibly imagine how I managed to acquire one of these. Thank you, Stu.
Have you seen, we're not going to do any spoilers on this show, but have you seen the Lower Decks Strange New Worlds?
No, not yet. Not yet. No, I've not seen any of Strange New Worlds Season 2 yet. Oh, apart from the first one that was out on. I've seen the first one, so I'm probably going to save them all up and then have an epic binge of them. I'm looking forward to the Lower Decks one particularly.
I may have been up in the early hours of the morning watching it multiple times.
And the musical one, which I believe is out as well.
Oh, not quite yet. I think that's tomorrow.
That one's tomorrow, yeah, I think so.
I believe. Yeah, mixed feelings about that. I'm waiting and seeing. Speaking of musical people, I have no idea. Yes, you have a guitar, Chris.
Okay, yeah, we're stretching it that far. Okay,
I've seen the guitar in the background.
Where is it? It's right back here.
Is it behind
right back on the bridge
chair?
In that chair behind me? Yeah.
And how you were saying it's slightly warm.
It is very slightly warm here.
What, the guitar?
It has. The guitar is very warm. No, it is now over 100 degrees Fahrenheit most days of the week here in Lower Alabama. If only some scientists had given us some warning that this might happen so that somebody could have done something about it over these years, we might be in a better position, but who knows when they'll figure that one out, those boffins.
You can't trust those old scientists, mate.
Nah. They don't know what they're talking about.
You used a phrase for how hot it is earlier. Can you repeat that phrase?
Oh, it's hot as balls.
I want to know hot balls and how you know.
Satan's and don't ask.
Okay. Speaking of Satan's balls,
it's the key to my lasting youth, Stu. That's how.
Oh, speaking of eternally youthful, we have Matt with us as well.
Yeah, we really are stretching things, aren't we?
It was going to be Satan's balls, and here's, speaking of, but there we go. But eternally youthful, that's better.
Yeah, it'll do, yeah.
Absolutely, yeah. And you're up in the northeast of England, aren't you, Scanny?
Yeah, yes. I said I've been subjected to lots of conversations that I have absolutely no idea what they were saying.
Perilously close to Yorkshire, so yeah, you won't understand a word.
I said there was there were 4 guys where I'm staying who were having a conversation at the bar. I'm presuming it was a conversation. There was lots of noises. There seemed to be some sort of pattern of like one would grunt something, another one would grunt. Yeah. So I'm presuming it was some sort of conversation. But there was lots of some cannies and reets and other nonsensical noises. So yes.
Now, did they say Ganinyem or Gantathus?
Yes.
Well, that's how you tell if they're from Newcastle
Universal
or
translator?
Sunderland, you see. If they're Geordies or Mackhams.
We're closer to Sunderland, so I'm presuming them.
I wouldn't risk suggesting it to anyone. Excellent. Well, I got spent from the age of 13 up till about 24. No, 27. Yeah.
Oh.
Gosh. Yes. Terrifying. Hated it. Anyway. Well, speaking of eternal youth, though, someone's had a birthday recently.
Oh, yes.
So shall we all say happy birthday, Ed?
Happy birthday, Ed.
You guys.
Can you tell us what level you've reached now?
Yes, I've reached level 23 for the 22nd time.
Right. Nice.
I like it. Fantastic. And did you have a good day?
Well, I've been training online from home for the past this week and next week I've got. So I was in, so I was sort of working, but it meant I didn't actually have to leave the house. So I got to still have cake, and I'm still finishing off my birthday bag of sweeties, which, if anyone knows, it's drumstick squishies. Oh, yes.
Yeah. There is nothing better than a birthday you don't need to put trousers on for.
No, exactly. Exactly. So it was all okay. And yeah, the plastic pile of shame got added to, of course, and one of my customers basically messaged me yesterday and said, "Oh, there's another box of stuff coming for you as well." So I'm like, "Oh, please stop sending me things. No, please keep sending me things. You're paying for my new sofa."
Fantastic! You're getting proper pro with the old painting miniatures. Yeah. That's the word I was looking for.
Fortunate amateur. I'm just fortunate anyone wants to pay me to have my daubings all over their models.
Excellent. Well, hello to Captain Quinn and Ben Kerno and everyone else who is watching. Shall we have an adventure?
A good idea.
Let's do it.
I suppose.
Come on, Matt. Come and join us. We've got nothing else to do tonight.
So, let's remind ourselves of where we are at the moment by our usual means of a log.
Zankir Bav Gronnahk, personal log. Recorded under security lockout Delta Indigo Kilo. Stardate 57391.5. We've returned from our successful mission to Seku 6 in the Shackleton Expanse in order to find a scientific mission that disappeared in the area. The humans have a saying, though. No rest for the wicked. No sooner are we back than our XO has a late-night visit from Director Bashir. It seems things are progressing quickly towards our return to Section 31. The Director wants a list of those crew who are staying loyal to S31, or more accurately, a list of those who aren't. Eelin and I discussed the Captain at some length, and agree that approaching him with a view to recruitment is not a good idea. So unfortunately, Captain Wagner will be at the top of the list. There are a few others I still need to add. I have, however, just had a communication myself from the Director. It has some curiously strict instructions for Commander Wraal when we receive our next assignment, and an unexpected instruction for me, one that I'm certain will only cause trouble.
Thank you very much. Cryptic, cryptic, cryptic. And so currently you are stood down at Narendra Station, or to use actor speak, between missions. Yes, you've had this this interaction with Director Bashir, who wants this list. Tell me, what are you all doing?
Do we need to kill Alastair?
No, out the airlock.
Just
I would.
I'm hoping it's my character, but if there's a knock at the door, I'll know what's happened.
Yes, that's what I meant.
Matt's closest.
Up on the door, a blast of laser fire.
Suddenly your travel arrangements are exposed for what they really are.
If you see any mysterious red dots about your person, just ignore them.
I had to give personal instructions while I was in Edinburgh.
Yeah.
I would like for Zankir to have a brief one-to-one with the commander, if possible, before we go any further.
Go for it. I mean, do you want us to leave?
If you could just step out.
Just cut the stream here, and me and Chris can chat for 10 minutes.
Yeah.
Star Trek Adventure Nights.
So I think Zankir will call Eelin to his office, and then when Wraal walks in, I think Zankir is probably looking at a pad rather furrowed, like he's concerned about something. Commander, good of you to come. Please
Counsellor,
take a
yes,
seat.
it seemed urgent.
Yes, I've received a communication, and at this point, Zankir will make sure that the room is locked down and no recording devices are at play or anything.
Okay.
We have some instructions from the director.
Oh. Instruction seems awfully specific.
Yes. Well, it seems that once we lay a course in our next assignment, you may see a timer pop up on your screen. When that reaches 0, at the precise moment it reaches 0, you are to engage Warp 1.
Especially Warp 1. I take it this will be on my console.
On the helm display, yes.
Okay.
He says that once that happens, we should get our cloaking device back.
Specifically,
we are to use specifically Warp 1.
Okay.
Once the cloaking is available, we are to use that to change course to a Section 31 facility, and I will provide you the coordinates for that. At that point, we should decloak, board the facility, and meet our new people.
I see, and I take it we'll be using the Livingstone under cover of some normal mission. We'll have orders to actually take it. I don't fancy nicking it out of space dock.
The director was vague on that point.
Well, Admiral Hubbard still owes me at least one new shuttle. He did say that was coming the other day, but I haven't checked if it's been supplied yet. Especially after we seem to be going through shuttles at an alarming rate.
Yes, there is one other thing, Commander. I wanted to talk to you about it before we get there. And at this point, Zankir will hand over the data pad to Wraal and let him read through it. The last line of it reads that upon arrival at the facility, Zankir is required to take command of the USS Livingstone.
Well,
I wanted to run this by you before I do anything, as I am
Mr.
a man of
Zankir,
some honor. The position should be yours before mine. I will step down if you wish it, but...
Mr. Zankir, Counsellor, these are orders. Now, whether they're from Section 31 or from Starfleet, we follow orders. I'm first officer now. I would hope you'd pick me to be your first officer then. Happy to do so either way.
Well, since I will not be available to be first officer, I can think of no better person than yourself.
Then we have no problem between us then. Between us, Mr. Zankir, my ambitions don't extend any further than the left-hand seat for now.
Very well. And you honor me with your blessing. I suppose we should think about what to do about the captain, however. He may not like being mutineered against, I guess is the word.
Now, I didn't see anything, the instructions here is to take over, so is the captain going to receive orders to relinquish command and hand over the command to you? As a Starfleet officer painted from the inside, he's going to do that if he's told to.
Potentially, though I think we should proceed with caution. See what happens next.
Yeah, what we don't want is for him to head back to any Federation areas with any wild stories about mysterious, shadowy organizations mutineering his crew and taking over his spaceship. Far better that he just gets reassigned and hands over to the newly promoted captain and an established, successful crew.
Agreed. Very well, Commander. That is all. I just wanted to run this by you. Be on the lookout for that countdown. Remember, Warp 1.
Warp 1. Your confidence is much appreciated.
Always.
And with that, Wraal will make his will leave politely and quietly, checking the corridor when he goes.
Okay. So maybe with a shiver running down his back as if someone's just walked over his grave, what's the captain doing?
Current captain.
I think that's a good question. Is the captain on duty at the moment, Stu?
No, everybody is stood down temporarily, basically waiting on your next mission.
Probably. I'm going to say on the holodeck, enjoying an Old West simulation.
Okay, excellent. What role is the captain playing in the Old West?
He's playing sheriff for sure.
Of course he is.
Right.
Absolutely.
Okay. He wants to get it on with Brent Spiner, I know.
Who doesn't?
There's no way Captain Wagner is wearing a black hat in that way. So this is one of the black hats of the body. He's definitely got like a Stetson that's like a tan colour.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So is it so this particular program, the Counsellor, I just want to get a picture of this. Is it sort of more paint your wagon or more Westworld?
Let's make this like a full-on, loving throwback moment from Livingstone directly to Next Gen and say that he's actually running the Fistful of Data's program with himself in the role of Worf in that episode.
Meta. I like it. Fantastic.
Fans everywhere go wild.
You've got a little character playing your son as well. Fantastic. Don't forget about him now, will you? Anyway, Wolf was a terrible father. Hi to your pink fizz. And Dr. Bosh. What's Dr. Bosh up to?
I think he's going to be doing some work on Davok's additional sort of eye components. So Davok is nicely asleep on the biobed, and we're doing some alterations to his eye.
Oh, some tweaks to unlock new powers.
Exactly.
Like a Pokemon. Okay.
Well, slightly more of a Digimon, I think, in this instance.
Digimon. Okay. I'll bow to your greater knowledge. Fantastic. And so after the conversation between Zankir and Eelin, who's compiling the list?
Oh, well, I think I was told to compile the list, wasn't I?
Yeah, but I think you palmed it off on me in the last game.
Actually,
if I remember rightly.
One moment, checks notes. Yes.
You delegated it to me.
Well swerved, Wraal. The privilege of command for the moment. Oh well, this is gonna bite me back in a little while.
I believe the conversation went along the lines of, I'm not doing Bashir's dirty work. Here's Zankir, do Bashir's dirty work.
Yeah, I'm not, you are.
I go, yeah, who got allocated to us from Section 31 in the first place?
Okay, so Zankir is working on the... What's Wraal doing whilst Zankir is working on the list then?
Oh, I think actually Wraal's going to go and investigate, actually going to make sure that Livingstone's got its full complement of shuttles back. And or have a chat with the equivalent of quartermastering and supplies department on the space station. Possibly maybe have a nice chat with Admiral Hubbard over some tea if he's available.
Admiral Hubbard sadly is not. He's in conferences at the moment, but you can indeed engage with the quartermaster, who fortunately is not Q.
Bond.
Yeah, and yes, indeed, there is a shuttle ready to be loaded. A nice shiny shuttle. It just needs a name.
Actually, I did actually have an idea for this one. Would anyone have any objection to calling it the McFall? Now, it does sound silly. However, McFall would be the name of John McFall, previous Paralympian, who is now training to be an astronaut and hopefully will be sent as the first astronaut with a disability to prove that people of reduced mobility can live and work in space in the future.
I'm game.
I'm game. Though I am worried with our previous track record of shuttles that it may not end well for McFall.
Well, shuttles are our red. Actually, shuttles are our red shirts. There we go. There's a tagline.
It's fine. You just send out Shuttle McPride first.
Yes.
Oh yeah, there you go.
Of course.
So there is a history, because we've got some new viewers at the moment.
No, I'm done. Nope.
We got to just let that one sink in for a second. Just let it sit.
Yes, because we've got some new viewers. There is a history for the naming of the shuttles. Do you have the notes in front of you, Ed?
Yes, I do. Hang on just a second, he says.
We can come back to you if you want.
That's all right. I've got it on the Livingstone's original details, and here they are. Yep, there we go. We have, we originally had a Type 10 and Type 6 shuttle and 4 Type 18 shuttle pods.
Mm-hmm. And what were their names?
Now, the tradition of the shuttle pods is that the pods were named Aaron, Renee, Anton, and Leonard. And for those who don't get the reference immediately, the shuttle pods are named after fallen and departed Star Trek actors. And the 2 shuttles were named Shaman and Peak. And those, of course, are British astronauts.
And which is the one that's in pieces? Shuttle, not astronaut.
I think which one would it be? Was it
Shaman? I think Shaman is the one we destroyed.
Shaman was the one that we damaged. Yes, so Shaman we'll delete off the roster and replace with McFall.
Cool, right. Fantastic. Thank you for that. And so Zankir, formulating this list. How are you going about creating it?
Badly.
Yeah, that's a good question. Do you mean like how am I logging everything, or like what is my thought process behind the decisions?
I'll say mostly your thought process. It's very easy for you to have a list of, well, who was Section 31 before and who wasn't. You know, that's obviously going to be your starting point, I would have thought.
Yeah.
But is that where
obviously
you're
anyone that
it?
was
Is that
anyone that was Section 31 before is fine. They're sticking around. The main crew sticking around. Honestly, I think the only person on the no list is the captain. I think everyone else is pretty much okay, or we could sway them.
right? So are you going to sway them before submitting the list, or is that just a plan for late? Oh, by the way, surprise!
Yeah, surprise, you're Section 31 now. No, I'm trying to pull up the actual list that we have of everyone.
I'm going to say for gameplay purposes, don't worry too much about the names, because a lot of those names haven't been mentioned. The only names that have been mentioned, in fact, are Section 31 crew. So
okay, well, in that case,
that's just a handy list to
easier.
draw names from. Yeah.
Okay, then I guess the only person that would be an issue is the captain. In that case, everyone else is fine.
Right. And are you going to submit a list of one?
Yeah, well, I guess for good measure, narratively, there's probably a couple extras that he puts on the list. But since we haven't given anyone names so far, it'll just be like some nameless ensigns running around who are not swayable.
Ensign So and crewman Far it is.
Yep.
The technician.
I once saw him talking to the captain in a corridor, and it looked like he was smiling.
But we're definitely on. We're fine with T and Doe, right?
Oh, they're cool. Yeah.
Cool.
Not going anywhere without T.
Yes. Fantastic. So you transmit your list via your secretive subspace messages. What's Zankir doing after that?
I think he's going to just take some time to himself, just in his quarters, just listening to classical Tellarite music, lots of complaining and grumbling, and just try and get his head in the right space for what he's just learned, and kind of prepping for what's going to happen in the future. Because this is not a position that he was ever expecting himself to be, especially being what's the term? He's a non-commissioned officer. So he wasn't really expecting to ever be in the chair. Not permanently, anyway.
Although it does happen.
It's a role, not a rank.
Our military historical person, Ed, I'm right in thinking that's a feasible thing, isn't it?
Yeah, well, the famous Captain Bligh of the Bounty wasn't a captain at all, only a lieutenant.
Mm-hmm.
Right.
Which is possibly where the issues came from.
They did say afterwards in the subsequent inquiry.
Interesting. Okay.
He also had a temper, which didn't help him.
Yes, it was a massive band.
That must be a nautical term of which I'm unfamiliar.
But yes, something about ropes.
Okay, so everyone's going about your various bits of business. Captain Wagner, you're getting just to the point in the holodeck program where Brent Spiner is rushing towards you to give you a big snog. And this happens simultaneously as Wraal is sitting in the cockpit of the new Shuttle McFall carefully peeling off the cellophane.
Oh no,
from
leave it on, leave it on.
the screen. Oh, no, sorry, carefully leaving the cellophane on there. You both get a sudden message on your comm badges. It is Admiral Hubbard. Yes, Captain, Commander. Sorry to disturb you. Can you come to my office as quick as possible, please?
Right away, Admiral.
On the way, Admiral. Meet you there, Captain.
Acknowledged.
Okay, and you head your way to Admiral Colin Hubbard's office.
Just as well the safety didn't fail on that program.
Do you pause the program and just leave it where it is, or do you just delete program?
We give it the old computer end program before we leave.
Right, so you have to start from your last spawn point if you go back. Fantastic, and yes, you come into the office, and Admiral Hubbard is sat there, gestures for you each to take a seat, and says, "Yes, I've got a mission for the Livingstone." Now, you'll both be aware that relations here on the station with the Klingons following the last time Livingstone went on convoy duty have been a little bit strained. So, yes. Well, I've been doing a lot of work with the Klingons, and we've come to the conclusion, and my superiors have authorised this. We think the Livingstone needs to do another convoy mission with the Klingons.
Did we get a Klingon captain who knows which way front is this time?
Yes, hopefully. Well, I've in fact requested very specifically, because of the we'll just say confusion last time, that the Livingstone will in fact take point. So you will be in full command of the fleet, of the whole convoy.
That would be an advantage, Captain, if you read the logs on the last one.
He's actually looking at you, Wraal, as he says this.
Yeah, I'm looking at the guy. That wasn't my fault.
No, I'm afraid. Well, I say I'm afraid. I mean, that is to say that, Commander, you will have to take charge of the mission because, Captain, there is a very, very urgent matter that needs your attention. You and a couple of your crewmen who have very specific talents, I've been told, Ensign So and Crewman Farr, and yourself, well, you're required back on the Melville. It's warping back here at speed.
Fine crewman, I was enjoying a laugh and a smile with one of them in the corridor just the other day.
Excellent. But yes, your old ship, the Melville, is on its way back. I believe you headed up a first contact mission with the Satrals. Well, a political dispute of some description has occurred with them, and they've requested very specifically that you go back and deal with it on board the Melville. So you'll be taking command of the Melville again.
Serve at Starfleet's pleasure, Admiral. I will board the Melville as soon as it arrives.
And he looks at his pad. Yes, Ensign So and Crewman Farr with you as well, of course.
Of course.
Well, because of the urgency of the mission, you'll be needing to take command of the Melville as soon as she arrives at Narendra Station. So I believe she's due to get here in about half an hour. So until that time, you might want to say a quick goodbye to your crew. I don't know. Who knows how long these missions take? But Yes, dismissed.
Thank you, Admiral.
Is that me as well, Admiral?
Oh, yes, absolutely. You can go on your convoy mission once the Melville has departed. That will be, I'll say at your leisure, but obviously, it's a convoy where supplies are needed, so we don't want to hang back too long, do we?
No, understood. Thank you, Admiral. Get up and I'll sort of gesture the captain to lead to the door.
Yep, Wagner's already got 1 foot out of it. Yeah.
I think I was, as the door closed out, I say, I'm sorry that you're leaving, Captain. We seem to have got on rather well. That seems a bit mysterious.
With my long service record aboard the Melville and with the situation requiring some diplomatic finesse on its latest mission, I can understand the reassignment. Best of luck with the escort mission. I'm sure the crew will do an admirable job.
Well, we'll be sorry to lose you, Captain. I think we've all rather got on rather well. Certainly very successfully with you in the seat. I hope our paths cross again.
Every confidence in your ability in the chair, number one. I'm sure you will do an excellent job.
Thank you. Best speed.
And you.
And I'll
it's like a fork in the corridor at that point or something.
Yeah. This is what we would go. I've already find a turbo lift and get the hell out of there before he starts.
You both enter the same turbo lift together at this point.
Some solar storms we've been having.
I'll take the stairs. It's fine. I need to get the steps in.
Yeah. Wraal just dips into a random ensign's quarters. It's fine.
He's already been warned by HR about
that. So, Captain, what would you like to do with your half an hour before the Melville arrives?
It's Wagner. He absolutely. We just go we literally go to the docking ring just now, and pull up a seat, get out a pad, and start overlooking the mission details for the diplomatic assignment. I guess message the two ensigns who are returning with me as well, and ask them to report to the docking ring.
Okay, you hang about there, and interestingly, the mission details, there's very, very little. It's even perhaps a little bit vague. Just it talks about the first contact mission you had with the Strauss, and of course it includes your various logs and reports from that mission, and it just says that a tense political situation has arisen. You haven't really got any more information than that.
Yeah, it's all a bit like tap 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 tap. Research this en route. Ask communications officer for the latest comms traffic from that region. Tap tap tap.
Okay, comms traffic there is none.
Okay,
there's been a communications blackout.
Okay, in that case, I think it's just sit and await the ensigns and the ship arriving, and take it on faith that Starfleet has its reasons.
Okay, you just sit there hitting refresh over and over again.
Yeah, refresh. I find that sometimes if you refresh 3 times in a row, the comm traffic will actually start coming through.
Okay, and assuming that Dr. Bosh is still working with Davok and Zankir still listening to his awful, awful music.
Tinkering away.
Like we had in my day. What's Wraal doing when he leaves the captain?
He's going to head back and get that shuttle round into the shuttle bay of the Livingstone as quickly as possible, and busy himself doing that, so no one has to answer any awkward questions.
Yeah, you can certainly do that, and so time goes by so slowly, and the Melville arrives And after about 25 minutes, it's a little bit early. So they've clearly rushed to get there. You're just beaming aboard with the ensign and the crewman, Captain?
Little single tear in my eye as I watch it, hit the docking port or reach Starbase and idle nearby. And yeah, we'll report to the transporter room and prepare for beaming across.
Okay, well, the Galaxy class is an imposing sight to see, for sure. And as soon as you're on board, helm is setting off for the trial system. And that is the end of Captain Wagner for now, that we see. Wraal. Galaxy class has been, and it's now gone.
That's good. A bit more space around the docking ports now. Okay, well, I take it that I'll go to the Livingstone's bridge and settle myself a little uncomfortably in the captain's chair.
Okay.
And put in the login details. Forget the password reset. Get it on my pad. Well, it has to come through and then verify that yes, that's me. Right, still got my yes. So I take I'm back in, and I've got currently commanding officer stated senior officer on board this ship. I'll just ask the computer, give me a rundown of the crew of the Livingstone.
The computer starts with Captain Wagner.
Okay.
And then yourself, and so on down the ranks until you tell it to stop.
Yeah, the fourth technician Rimmer again. He's still here. Okay, so they've not changed that, but there's no one else except me. Right. Okay. Based on that, I will tell the computer to basically signal all Livingstone crew that we'll be departing. Let's say 0700 ship's time tomorrow. We'll let them all finish up whatever it is they were doing today. We don't want to be racing out the door right behind Captain Wagner's ship. Let him get a bit further away before we sneak off.
Okay, and presumably you'll be notifying the Klingon convoy of the same.
I'll get in touch with them and get a rundown of roster, what they've got, they are, ships and stuff, and I'll spend the evening checking out any Federation information on the convoy in question and the ships in question. And whichever Klingon captain we get to is capable of switching his own engines on and shooting a target in front of him, that sort of thing.
Okay, well you can.
Next time I'm going to beam over and execute it myself and take over his ship as the captain. I know how Klingons
work. You certainly get all that information, and it's fairly mundane information. It's a shipment of medical supplies and grains to an outpost, and what have you. Well, we'll fast forward to 7 o'clock the next day, unless anybody wants to do anything specific until then.
Nope.
So 0700 hours the following day. But first, that's a good time to take a break. So don't go anywhere. That's an order. We'll be right back. So, welcome back, everyone. We have our cups overfloweth. Fantastic. So, yeah, bit of a kind of almost like a role-play game shopping episode. A lot of character stuff going on. Not many roles taken place so far. I do need to make one change, though, because Alastair...
He's dead to
He's
us.
not Captain Wagner anymore. It's still Kitus Valor.
Please let him go cold first.
He's gone.
Oh.
It's still Kitus Valor.
Matt, you literally drew X's over his eyes there.
Yeah. He sleeps with the fishes now.
Alastair. Oh, fantastic.
He's not dead.
Beyond the grave.
Oh, dear me.
In the immortal words of the Danger Club, no more character shit.
Yes. Well, we shall have to see, won't we? But, yeah, so not much pomp and fanfare with the captain's departure there. But it's all moving forward, it seems. So, let's bring ourselves back in. It is 0700 hours the following day. I'm guessing everyone's at their appropriate stations. Commander, which seat are you in?
Do you know what? We're going to need to. This is awkward. Oh, I know. We're on. I take it we're on the bridge. As we're in space dock, and it's kind of almost a thing. I'll just ask comms officer just to hail Dockmaster and request permission to leave, please.
Permission is granted. Have a safe journey, Livingstone.
Thank you very much, Doc. Livingstone will proceed. Then I'll take it. All my normal friends are on the bridge with me, like the standard picture that we get.
It is indeed.
And what I'll do is I'll stand up from the chair and I'll just look at Mr. Zankir and say, Mr. Zankir, have you ever piloted a starship out of space, Doc?
I don't think you need to be entrusting the Livingstone to my piloting skills, Commander.
Pilot's a role, not a job, Mr. Zankir. Take the seat, I'll take the con. And I nod to the relief helm officer to nick off.
Okay, that would be Grace Wilson, the Adosian.
Yes, it's definitely time for bedtime story, Grace Wilson. Off you go. Actually, no, it's 7 o'clock. It's school time. Go and get your breakfast. Comb your hair properly.
Fantastic, and presumably, Zankir, you've supplied the coordinates. Well, you've got two lots of coordinates, I suppose. You've got the coordinates to rendezvous with the convoy, not too far from here.
Yes, and then the actual coordinates where we will be going once the countdown ends are 209 Mark 87.
Has this been discussed with anyone apart from you two?
No.
Cool.
Thanks, Doctor.
Okay, so so which coordinates are you going to put in?
For now, I think we should follow the mission until we get the countdown. Because if we're following Bashir's instructions, then once the countdown hits, then is when we do the warp, cloak, and then go to the other coordinates. But we should head in the direction of the Klingons first.
Not wishing to sound all stew about this, but have you actually given any thought to the consequences of us buggering off a second time? Okay.
I have. I thought of it immediately when Stu told us what the new mission is. Oh, good. We're going to be failing twice. Cool.
Is there no way that we can not fail?
secretly, Hubbard's already prepped the Melville to turn round and just come straight back.
Probably.
Okay. So is Wagner keeping an eye on long range scans on the Livingstone?
Absolutely not.
No.
He's overjoyed to be back on the Melville.
He's washed his hands of us.
Yeah, he comes on the Melville one. What a bunch of weirdos they were.
At least there's no Remans on the Melville that you know of. Yeah.
Poor Captain Wagner just felt that he's been in a live action version of Among Us for like 6 months.
The doctor is standing menacingly with a hyper spray in the lunch area again. Fear for my life for the third time today.
Okay.
I think the implication from Bashir is that we should basically look like we are following the mission, and then we're just going to disappear because we're going to hit warp 1 for a second, cloak, and then go somewhere else. So it'll look like we're following the mission if we disappear, if we warp in that direction, and then we just vanish off the scope. So effectively missing an action rather than failing the mission.
Hi, sir. Whatever you say, sir.
Okay. Now, we haven't discussed momentum or threat in this game yet. I have a lovely stack of threat here because I get 2 threat per player, so I've got 8 threat. Very, very nice. You, of course, have no momentum at all.
Do the rules say per player or per character? Because we might be getting swindled here.
Per player. Am I doing it per 2 per player? I can do it 2 per character if you want. Thanks for the idea, Alastair.
Primary characters only.
Okay.
You know, Stu would start including our Atlantis characters in there as well. Hey, they count. They're characters.
Absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to give you a chance to earn some momentum now. You're going to plot a course for the coordinates to rendezvous with the Klingons. I'm going to make this would actually normally be a difficulty 3, but I'm going to make it a difficulty 0 because what is plotting a course? You know, a thing. And this is going to be a reasoned and con roll for yourself, Ed, assisted by the computer and con, which is a target of 15. The Livingstone's really good at that. So who wants to roll for the ship?
Alastair.
Oh,
Seems only right.
We go.
So see how many successes you get.
Okay.
Ship got a 3.
Wow. Yeah, the ship's brilliant. I'm awful. 1 for me.
1 success and a 3 on the dice. Is that correct?
Yeah, no, he didn't get 3 successes. Yeah.
Ships don't have focusers, do they? It's a shame. But yeah, you get 2 momentum.
Yeah.
So there we go. As you plot in the course, and the moment you hit enter on the helm, a countdown timer flashes up in the left-hand corner. You can't miss it. It's quite bright. It's beeping, and it starts with 10, 9,
subtle. I'll
8,
just turn around and nod at
7,
Zankir.
6, 5,
Program's in warp 1.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0.
Engages.
Okay. I want a control and con roll from you, assisted by the engines and con. Let's have the new captain rolling the engines and con. Target of 13 for that. This is going to be difficulty 4.
Oh, okay. Hang on then.
You have 2 momentum.
We do, but
I know what I rolled, but I'm not going to say anything about. momentum.
Okay, I'm going to buy an extra D20 with my bold con skill, which means, Stu, have yourself a threat. You've got lots anyway.
Ooh, thank you very much.
It means I get a re-rollable one.
So you still got your 2 momentum.
Control and con. 14 is the target for me. And I'm very pleased to say I got a 14, a 10, and a 9. So 3 successes.
And I rolled a 2.
Yay! 4 successes as you hit the Go Fast Now button on the helm, Ed. Who remembers the teaser that I gave you at the end of season 2?
Oh, no.
If this is going to come into play.
Have I just broken
Just avoid
ship.
that.
The ship's engines warm up and fire up, and just looking from the outside at the ship, just as it goes to warp, there is a massive explosion which you are just slightly out of range of. The ship is rocked really, really heavily. It's definitely taken some paint off. But you are flying at warp 1 undamaged.
Ooh.
Can I check the systems and see if the cloaking devices come back online?
Cloaking device is now available.
Oh.
Commander, change course and engage the cloaking device.
As agreed, Captain, and I do so.
Okay. Who's going to activate the cloak?
I imagine it's. Oh, actually, it may well be. Actually, Mr. Zankir might find it's somewhere underneath one of his hands on a pad there.
You might want an engineer to do this.
Hmm. Oh, you know what?
Engineering, engineering, please engage. I mean, we're all okay now, so I can just say it over the comms. Engineering, engage cloak. And Tana will get the message. Oh, all right then, Captain. I'm on it. And she'll do it. What am I rolling for this?
Surely the captain needs to speak back to Tana.
He probably does, but he's the strong silent type.
Okay, this is control and engineering, assisted by engines and security. We'll have Matt rolling for that. So that's going to be 14. 1 dice for the ship. So 14 target. Difficulty 2. So that's 1 success.
All right. You said control and engineering, right?
Control and engineering.
15. Yeah. I'm going to use the momentum for this. I don't want to mess this up.
Okay.
Which I almost did.
How many 20s
I got 1
did
success.
you roll?
I got 1 success off of 3 dice.
Okay. Yeah. Cloak engages. Fantastic. And Wraal, yes, you can easily set the coordinates for your new destination. You are travelling at warp 1 under cloak.
Okay, I think now we actually at this point I'll turn to Zankir and say, "Oh, we had to start at warp 1. We're okay to continue at warp 1, or do they want us to any faster?"
I believe the warp was just a ruse. I think we can speed up a little now.
Okay. Setting warp, let's say warp 5.5, somewhere nice and somewhere in the middle.
Yeah, it's a nice cruise. Let's not go crazy now.
Nothing we need to ask permission for.
Okay. Yep, warp 5.5. It's going to take you a few hours to reach the destination.
At that point,
Destination.
I think now that we're on the way, I think it would be worth calling all of the senior crew to the bridge, including the doctor. Davok, I assume, is still out.
Yeah, she's unconscious. But he's unconscious. They're unconscious.
All 3 of them.
Everyone's unconscious.
Delete as applicable.
Computer says everyone's unconscious, Dave.
We'll call all of the senior crew to the bridge, and Zankir will give them the talking to. Actually, no, Zankir isn't actually in charge yet. It is technically still Wraal, so Zankir will let him do the talking for now.
Yes, as you call them, I'll summon Grace Wilson back to the to take over the con, and I'll just head back and say, thank you for the ride out of space talk, Mr. Zankir. You're relieved, and I'll sit back in my chair just so as everything appears a little bit more normal when everyone arrives on the bridge.
Of course.
Okay. One little bit of information for Eelin. The coordinates that you were given, it's actually in Romulan space, but very close to the border, just in fact over the border from the Cardassian
Nice.
Empire. Is it no, it's not an empire, is it?
Union,
thank you.
Yeah.
Yes. Cardassian space, anyway.
Excellent. So, yeah, more people we can annoy. Well, we've annoyed the Romulans anyway. Oh, he's going to be back. Our favourite Romulan commander. I can just smell him.
Commander Mothra.
Mothra. Oh, even better than Andreas Katsulas. Yes, where was I? We were, yes, we'll continue under and bring everyone to the bridge. Yes, good idea.
Indeed. Everyone piles on.
Doctor, Davok still okay? Davok still unconscious?
Yes, he'll be out for a little while.
I'm comfortable, though. Have you added anything else to his eye?
Yes, sir.
Oh, good. What have you done? Oh, please tell me you've done like a sort of acid smiley face thing.
Yeah, just hear from it.
Can we engage Bez mode on him so he doesn't?
So I've Commander Davok was complaining of it feeling quite heavy in comparison to sort of naturally occurring eyeballs, which obviously with the amount of technology that's okay. So I looked at stripping it down, but that seemed like taking away elements. So what I've done is I've made it removable.
Oh, good. Oh, excellent. So there's literally just a socket there.
Well, no, yes, it's sort of cleaned out, and this can be, or at least part of it can be sort of removed and affixed, sort of like ship sensors that can be left in place to monitor certain things. But also, I've bypassed some of the connection to the neural net so that Davok doesn't actually have to look at a tricorder. He can see scans directly.
Oh, straight into the brain almost.
Yes, yes.
Oh, so you've also, it sounds like you've also bypassed quite a lot of the Hippocratic Oath there. Excellent. Oh, no, you haven't. Actually, you've done no harm.
No, and I mean...
Just upgraded him without his permission.
Permission is relative, sir.
Yes, exactly. I mean, when he wakes up, if he asks, I'll say that it was absolutely a matter of life, and he would have died if you didn't.
Yes, sir. It was. I remember seeing a case of a young ensign who was working on a speeder of some sort, and it blew up, and they to make sure that he would survive, they added implants. It's pretty much the same thing, sir.
Fantastic. Well, I'm sure he'll appreciate that as and when he regains consciousness. Now, you've not. How's Reggie taking it? Is he still stood outside? He's still stood outside sick bay, despite me telling him to go and get on with his work.
Yes, sir. He's only threatened to kill me twice, so actually, I think it's quite a good day.
Pretty good. That's pretty good. He's, they're a passionate people, and they do they do take care of their own. For some reason, he thinks Bosh. He thinks that Davok's one of his own.
I've studied Andorians for a while, sir, and I'm quite well acquainted with their foibles. I have no idea about Reggie. It's all northern to me.
No one does. That's why he's more like a sort of a loyal attack dog. I'm happy to have him out. Well, next time you see him, tell him I want to see him. For a sort of normal head of department meeting. So stop moping about as well.
I have a feeling isn't Reggie from a more northern part of the hemisphere of Andoria? Kind of
Every planet has a north, yes.
Yeah, like a Durham or Sunderland.
Yes. Somewhere near Huddersfield.
Huddersfield, yes.
Well, you see, everything. It's a very hard world, Andoria. I believe even the flowers, like the roses, are made of stone.
Right, everybody's on the bridge, Dave.
Senior crew. We have received orders, as I'm sure you're probably aware, and I'm going to enact them straight away. I am advised, well, it's going to happen anyway, so I am hereby relieving myself of command duties of this space vessel and handing them over to our new acting captain, Captain Zankir, who I'm sure will all support from this moment onwards. Computer, transfer all command codes to Counsellor, Acting Captain Zankir Gronnahk. Authorization, Wraal Delta Gamma 553.
Which is almost certainly the same as the last time you said that out loud. Thank you, Commander. Yes, we brought you all here. We received communication from Director Bashir yesterday. We have a new assignment to rendezvous with a Section 31 outpost somewhere near the borders of the Cardassian Union. There we will receive our new assignment and also some new crew members to replace those that we lost. And it is the Director's wishes that upon reaching the station, I will assume command of the ship. I have received the Commander's blessing of this. I did make sure to ask him before I went along with this.
That's also why I decided that we will be changing command in front of all you, the crew, rather than it being done secretly behind your backs.
I have a question, sirs.
Yes, Doctor.
I'm presuming you've just explained the kind of explosion as we went to warp, and
yeah.
The shaking was just my bad piloting. I'm just a bit out of practice.
We're all dead, sir. Says. At least according to everyone that we know.
I haven't had time to check Federation databases. Is there something you want to tell us about our own medical records, Doctor?
Not yet, sir. I've just they won't have got updated that fast. But ships exploding tend to require everyone on board to be vaporized.
It is true that we are apparently the victims of some kind of warp accident. This will be a planned event by the Director, I'm sure. And I'm sure our next assignment will be one that requires a little less Starfleet oversight.
I'm fully on board. Just pointing out.
You'll be pleased to know, Doctor, I bet that anything that's not quite so Starfleet heavily regulated will probably be a lot more profitable.
Oh, I'm already bidding on your worldly possessions, sir.
Very good. That's because I strongly suspect that there'll be items missing from this ship that were probably put into whatever device was exploded behind us to give the impression that there's actual genuine wreckage floating in space in the point where we were. Complicated. Yeah. We can't just explode and vanish.
There were some canisters of synthesized engineer, I believe.
Sweeper.
Yes, that in mind, I do recommend that you as department heads let your people know not to communicate with anyone outside of the ship. If there is a ruse afoot, we should keep it going as long as we can.
Very good, sir.
As soon as we're able to send any communications that may be necessary, we will, of course, let the crew know when they can do that. Obviously, if they want to continue keeping personal logs, some of them have family members off ship. They're, of course, more than at liberty to do so. Those may well be able to be downloaded and sent on in due course.
Very well. Anyway, let's get back to business, shall we?
As you wish.
As you
that means dismissed. Go about your business.
Everyone's looking at each other for. Oh, okay. We'll just kind of... I'll find myself a chair somewhere.
You still
Take
have
the
a little
helm,
bit
Commander.
Oh, thank you. I will. Grace, again.
You still have a little bit of time before you get to your destination. Anything anybody would like to do in the meantime?
Actually, I'd like to check, see if we can get into the Federation, any sort of database, and see if there is any reports on our demise currently. I imagine it would be a bit quick, or a bit soon for that.
Interesting. You can access the Federation database and now the Section 31 database. That has become available to you.
Oh, good.
And however, the Federation database, it's a one-way system only. Normally with the Federation database, you can not only access it, you can update it, you can only, this is a read-only file, basically.
We're locked out, essentially.
But you can read it, definitely. And there are early reports of what appears to be a serious accident involving a starship just outside Narendra Station.
Okay, that's reassuring. Captain, it seems we may be technically dead.
Strange thought. Never pondered my own death before, and here I am looking at it.
Let's just make sure that Bosh can't get into the database and rewrite it so that he turns out he's Lord of the Underworld or anything dodgy.
I actually just had a thought. I'll look around the bridge, and assuming he's not here, I'll come to Reggie, Commander. Not Commander, Chief. Sorry. Could you do me a favor, please, and check on our personal yacht and see if it's available now? I have a suspicion it might be.
I heard the news. Congratulations, Captain Zankir. I always knew you'd do well. I had my eyes on you.
Thank you very much, Chief.
Good way with people, I find. I'll go and have a look now. It should be down the front where we last saw it, or where let's try to get to it. I'll give you a shout back.
Very well.
Reggie reluctantly hustles away from the medical bay, looking longingly
Just pries himself off the glass.
Just making sure.
You hang in there, Mr. Davok, sir. Mr. Bosh will see you right, or I'll see him outside.
Yes, you head on down, and indeed, Henrietta is accessible.
New plane to play with.
New toys.
Bridge from Reggie. Are you there?
Go ahead, Chief.
Yeah, Captain, sir. Yeah, you got yourself a new yacht, sir.
Oh, very shiny she is. Hardly scratched.
Good. I'm glad to hear it. I'm sure the commander will be glad to hear it too.
Oh yeah, well, he does. He does like climbing inside things and flying them around, doesn't he?
That's what she said, Chief. That's what she said.
There always goes. Sir. There always goes. Terribly bad luck if they're not. Anyway, I had a message I needed to do some reports from Mr. Wraal, sir. Something about head of departments things. I'm a bit behind with that. What we've been worrying over, Mr. Davok. I'll get onto that if that's all right. Begging your pardon, sir.
Absolutely, and rest assured, Davok is in the best hands we have available.
Yeah. Once he's in mine, he'll be fine again. Reggie out.
Okay, so
things took a weirdly sexual turn at the end of that sentence.
Welcome to Livingstone Nights.
The Davok Reggie is a bromance across the stars.
It really, really is. So there are a couple of characters amongst you who are not heads of department. How does Kitus take the news?
He's going about his duties with an extra spring in his step. Yeah, I think the feeling that he's aboard a Section 31 ship. He might get to see some more combat action. Not be constrained by Federation protocol as much when he does have to see some battle. He's pretty chuffed with the turn of events.
Excellent. And again, or first, we can be more open now about. We'll first want to have her features returned to Jem'Hadar. Yeah, I can't even say it. Jem'Hadar.
No, she's kind of enjoying the slightly different experience that she's getting from the crew, who seem a little more. I mean, they're still wary and standoffish, but slightly less so to a Klingon than to a Jem'Hadar. Less, I suppose, outwardly hostile. I think Klingon War's been a bit. It's been a few decades now, but the Jem'Hadar threat is still that bit fresher.
And of course, as a female Jem'Hadar, raises a lot of questions.
Yeah, and there's the kind of the Mars O'Brien Cardassian version. That kind of it doesn't matter that she's female. It doesn't matter. It doesn't make sense. She's Jem'Hadar, so yeah.
Excellent. So, unless there's anything anybody else wants to do, we'll fast forward, do a scene cut to arriving at your destination, where you drop out of warp. Are you decloaking?
I don't know why I'm shaking my head. I've got no control over this.
What do we see as we drop out of warp before we decloak?
You see a relatively empty sector of space. This is in the Anais sector. You've got a planetary system. I wouldn't say near, but the Unroth system is perhaps the closest system, but it's not. It's not that close. It seems to be a very unremarkable area of space. No, not even nebulas, or you haven't even got a passing comet.
Nothing. Can we scan the area to see if there's any activity around?
You can indeed. So, who's going to do the scan?
If only we had a science officer who was really good at scanning.
Davok's unconscious.
Yeah. Do we have just a crewman that could have taken over from Davok on the science station? Because I'm no good at science. It can't be me doing it.
You can. Who's got the highest science amongst all of you?
I'm at a 2.
I'm a 2.
Or 3 with Tana, but
It can be Tana. What's
My
Bosh's?
science is a 4.
Let's have Dr. Bosh doing the scan then.
Doctor, take the science station. Counting shit.
So, I need a reason and science, assisted by the ship's sensors and science. Difficulty 4. Who's going to roll for the ship?
Alastair.
Okay, 11 is your target for the ship.
Ship gets an 11 exactly.
Nice.
You have 1 momentum.
Is it focuses, values, or talents that boost?
Focuses. So if you roll under your science score and that you have a relevant focus, that becomes 2 successes.
Or equal to, meet speaks.
Yeah.
Meat speech, yeah.
I'm
guessing you're not spending your momentum.
I think I am going to spend the momentum.
Spend the momentum.
Because I don't think I've got a focus that helps.
Okay. So you want 3 successes. Because the ship's given you 1.
Right. So, on the first 2 dice, I got an 8 and a 4.
Oh.
Okay.
And my reason and science is 14. So, yeah, which is why I was like, if the 4 could have worked. Now, the third dice.
Yeah.
Oh.
The third dice is a nat 1.
Yeah.
You
He's
get a
sciencing the shit
momentum
out of
back.
stuff.
You get your momentum back. Well done. Yeah, Bosh. You can detect a quite large area, not too far in front of the ship. Appears to be something that is cloaked.
Can we tell what it is?
Unfortunately not. It's certainly, I'll say it's about 3 times the size of the Livingstone. So it could be a big ship.
Captain, Commander, draw your attention to this quadrant in the sensors.
Can you not clear that up anymore?
I mean, it's about 3 times the size of us, sir. I think that would make it about the sort of, is that Galaxy size?
Dideridex, yeah.
Dideridex is bigger than Galaxy, isn't it? It's like
Yeah. So at least Galaxy size, maybe bigger.
Yeah.
A Galaxy would be
Bear in
about
mind
20
we are-
times the size of the Livingstone.
Oh, in that case, that fills me with a lot more confidence because that would mean it's probably about the size of what a Voyager. Intrepid
Give or
class.
take. Yeah,
okay.
give or take.
And correct me, Stu, you did say that we are in Romulan space right now, right?
You are in Romulan space.
No. Should be a little wary of cloaked vessels.
Yeah. Or do we presume that if it's to Section 31, they'll speak to us first? Speak when
If they
spoken
know
to.
we're here. But if we're cloaked, there's no clear indication they know we're here while we're cloaked.
But we've got a vague idea that there's someone else cloaked there. And if they've got the same level of sensors that we do, there's a chance they recognise as a censored person here. Question:
Is there a way, Stu, with Zankir's communication abilities? Can we open hailing frequencies and just send out a coded message that just kind of sounds like garbled nonsense to anyone else?
Background radiation.
Do you mean like a
just...
Section 31 Masonic handshake?
Basically, yeah, so that if it is Romulan, then they just hear like crackling. But if it's Section 31 listening in, they're going to know it's us. So we can get a response back.
Okay, so for that to happen, Section 31 would have to have a certain frequency that is constantly being used. The way Section 31 operates is they fluctuate their frequencies regularly, and it's the communications are actually encrypted.
Okay.
So you'd have to know specifically what frequency to
Plus, little like Maquis cells, Section 31 groups and operatives tend to not be told about anything else other than their immediate superiors and them.
Well, the fortunate thing is you do have access to your Section 31 database now.
Oh, that's true. We
So
do.
you can
so we'll
actually
be able
look
to
it
grab
up.
There we go.
I'm used to not knowing.
Yeah.
Having to be good.
So,
Used to not having access to that stuff.
the answer is yes. You can put out a wide, a broad subspace signal.
Broad
and
spectrum.
have that one narrow band. Broad spectrum, thank you. I kept wanting to say broadband, but that's Wi-Fi. Broad spectrum subspace signal that is just static, garbled nonsense with the one narrow band sending to Section 31. That'll also be encrypted anyway. What are you wanting to say to Section 31?
It will just say
Here.
USS Livingstone reporting for duty. I had it a second ago. Reporting for duty. Checking for safety. Or not checking for safety. Reporting for duty. Are you friend?
You get a text-only message back saying, "Welcome, Livingstone. Please decloak and approach the facility."
I will give the order to decloak.
Seems friendly.
As you drop the cloak, the facility before you decloaks as well, just after you do. And it's if you imagine there's a central core structure, and either side of it, flanking it, there are two huge, looks like almost like tubes stuck on the side of it.
Interesting.
Does anything look like? Actually, if we can bring up the database, can I bring up the database and see if is there some sort of docking facility, a docking port I'm supposed to be heading for here?
Well, in fact, you can all give me all of your primary characters. I'll include Kitus in this, who perhaps is looking out a window at the moment. Everyone can give me an insight and security difficulty 2 roll, please.
I got a 4 and a 1.
Oh, nice.
So 3 successes.
I got a 6. And I got a 20.
Okay.
I got a 9 and a 19.
Okay.
And one success for Kitus.
Okay. Only Zankir will be aware of this then.
Makes sense.
Fitting.
Having read the ancient logs of previous starship vessels, obviously the first and most famous was the Enterprise, an X-01. And there was an incident where it encountered an automated repair station that looks a hell of a lot like this one.
Okay.
And in fact, after a few moments, after decloaking, one of these tube widens and stretches out sideways and looks like it would fit neatly around the Livingstone.
Well, Commander, take us in, will you?
Very good, Captain. I'll set maneuvering thrusters and gently aim it into the gap. We've gone all after dark again, haven't we?
You do indeed, and yes, it fits very nicely, very snugly, and there is a clunk Sorry, I've broken Chris. I've broken Chris.
No, Ed broke me. I was fine until I saw Ed giggling.
I think we looked at each other exactly the same. Carry on. It's a very serious business. It's moving
we are grown-ups.
This
line up with docking port here.
As there is a walkway that has connected against the airlock.
So I'll put the ship into the equivalent of parking brake. I don't. That's got to be. There's going to be some sort of umbilicals, which I take it when I come to a complete stop. This is clever enough. It'll umbilical, and I'll report. We seem to be full stopped. Void anchors deployed, and we have umbilicals attached, Captain. We seem to be drawing power from the station.
Very well. Let's go see what they want, shall we? I will command senior crew to come with me. I guess we'll leave everyone else on the ship just in case we need to make a hasty retreat. Doctor, do you think you can spare yourself unless Davok needs you?
Yes, he's still in recovery, so let him rest up. He's still not quite come to yet.
Very good.
Okay. You head your way.
We'll head out
to the airlock. The airlock opens and a nice shiny white, pristine clean tunnel appears before you. There is some flashing lights along the side, seems to be indicating that you head in a particular direction.
Helpful.
I think we follow the lights, Captain.
Agreed.
Okay.
Well, lead the charge.
You head and follow the lights, and you take a couple of turns. It seems to be a very, very nice station, but you don't see anybody, nor can you hear any engines whirring or anything of that nature. But eventually you lead into a larger, it looks very much like a large mess hall, and there appears to be a huge banquet set out before you all.
Still no people around?
Not that you've seen yet.
Interesting. Any ideas, people?
Upon hearing someone speak, somebody comes out from a room off the side of this hall. Alastair, who do they see?
They see an Orion, tall male Orion in what would be considered a stereotypical chef's garb for the era that they find themselves adventuring in, who gestures towards the table and says, "Gathered friends, it is my greatest joy to present you with this prepared meal, starting with a dish of my own design I call Ad Astra per Asparagus with Tellurian spice. Please enjoy."
Okay, everybody else apart from Alastair, I want you to give me an insight-only roll, difficulty 1.
Just insight?
I found this on the web.
Yeah, I got 1.
So
I
got 1.
I've been saving them all up. I got a 20.
oh dear.
With indigestion already.
I got 1 success unless my focus of xenopsychology will play in if we're like studying him.
Going to say
allergic
no.
to asparagus.
So Wraal, you've no idea who this Orion is. Davok, Dr. Bosh and Zankir, you reckon this is a celebrity, no less. This is a celebrity Klingon chef. Well, an Orion who is a celebrity chef for the Klingons. It's on all the televids. They would know his name. Alastair, do you want to provide his name?
Gerard.
Aren't you?
Well, this is suddenly unexpected.
Please take a seat. Director Bashir will be here directly.
Well, it would be rude not to, I suppose.
Is this the point at which I whispered to Zankir, who the hell's he?
He's Gerard, very famous among the Klingons. Has his own cooking channel.
Klingons have a cooking channel?
Yes, it's called KFTV, Klingon Food Television.
How has that never come up on my list of you might also likes?
The algorithm just hasn't got you yet.
Oh, yeah,
it's okay. It'll
People
turn up.
presume it's all just gah, but there's a lot more to Klingon cuisine than just gah.
Asparagus, apparently. God, I hate asparagus.
Didn't you do a set of holosuite programs like cooking with?
It fills me with joy that you're already familiar with my work. Please tuck in.
Well, I'm game. And Zankir will take a seat at the table.
Okay, Wraal will sit next to him and do the whole looks a little bit like she does in Indiana Jones looking at the monkey brains at the asparagus.
Chilled monkey brains.
With Tellurian spice.
Oh, good. My favourite.
Delicious. But thank you. Chef, is it? Or just Gerard?
Just Gerard. I've never found a use for titles or second names.
Excellent. Excellent. You say the director will be here promptly, yes?
I believe so.
He is on the facility.
You haven't seen him on the facility.
I haven't seen him on the facility.
Is there an echo in here?
This is not the Section 31 you're looking for.
Right.
Move along.
Yes, okay.
If he does not appear, I could always use help with the dishes after the meal.
Ooh, I think we've got somewhere to be after this, unfortunately.
Funny how often people say that.
Yeah, I got no reason to suspect foul play here, so I guess Zankir will just be...
There's no foul asparagus with Tellurian spice.
Is he deaf? He's shouting.
He is standing all the way over the other side of the room. He really could come a little closer.
Is he? He hasn't worked in some sort of Orion factory before he became a chef, did he? And his earrings gone.
Commander
Like the nail
Wraal,
gun,
why
he's knocking
are
like
you
that.
speaking so quietly?
Okay, so who's eating?
Yeah, Bosh
Oh,
will.
but yeah, we're going to be polite here. Is there anything on the table that isn't asparagus? It's like asparagus soup, asparagus salad, raw asparagus, asparagus crumble.
Gerard, is there anything that's not asparagus?
For the main course, I've prepared a delicious Ferengi crab.
Oh,
Okay. Well, Wraal will have a go at the asparagus smorgasbord laid out in front of him, just to be polite, but he's definitely giving it the whole.
Gerard, give me a presence and science roll to see how good this food is.
Two passes, but no, not enough to get a focus or anything like that.
Yep, 2 successes is good. It's tasty.
Are all of
tasty
Gerard's
food.
focuses just various cooking techniques?
That's for me to know and you to find out.
I mean,
Not
it
all
couldn't be any
lines
more
are
ridiculous
pilots.
than someone having a focus in skipping, could it?
Well, quite. Yeah.
Oh, yeah, it is a lovely, lovely meal that is before you all. And
Yes, it's very, very good, Gerard. Please take a seat. What is I feel rude you standing there.
Thank you, Captain. So what brings you to our humble station?
We are under orders. We have a meeting with the director.
I believe he'll be here shortly, although I have not seen him around the station.
Understood. Caught that the first time. What brings you here? I wasn't expecting someone of your caliber to be present at such a facility.
There has been an event.
Like
Interesting.
a celebrity
Go on.
event? A cookathon? Bake
Festival,
off?
that kind of thing.
I'm having to put the holovid work on hold for a short time.
God, can you imagine a Klingon Bake Off? There'd be like knives drawn and everything. Is it whoever can survive the most venomously poisonous meal without dying? It goes through to the next round. There'd be some sort of challenge of bravery.
But it's still Paul Hollywood and Prue as the judges.
Yeah.
The rest is just Klingons, but just them.
so
You
hold
dishonour
me
my
to
fairy
Iron
cake.
Chef.
I did not bake this at the wrong temperature.
Pass me my piping bag of honour.
Oh, the great Klingon cook-off. Right.
Please, Paramount,
as-
make that a thing.
I'm waiting for a season where the Rokeg blood pie doesn't feature.
As you're tucking into this, a hologram suddenly appears in the mess hall of Dr. Bashir.
This explains why I haven't seen you around the station, Director.
Ah, Gerard. Yes, good to see you. Captain, Commander, Doctor, everyone.
Director.
Welcome to Wear Station 1. This is a Section 31 facility where all repairs will be carried out to your ship. In fact, if you would care to look out the window now, you will see repairs taking place. Excuse me. All they're actually doing is there are arms basically repainting the ship where it got scorched.
Oh, good.
Yes, now your mission will be coming through shortly. In the meantime, I would consider it a personal favour if you could take Gerard under your wing and look after him for the time being.
Well, Captain, technically under normal Starfleet regulations, a captain is allowed to appoint his own cook. Old naval tradition, you know.
Then I can think of no one better.
I look forward to serving food and other beverages under you, Captain.
Your two other replacement, I believe it was an ensign and a crewman.
Yes.
They will be joining you shortly. They have not yet arrived at the station, but they'll be here after you have conducted your first mission, which will be coming through in the morning. For now, enjoy the facilities of the station. Relax. Your new work with Section 31 will begin shortly.
Director, is it possible to discuss that work? We understand that as far as Starfleet and the Greater Federation is concerned, we were the victims of a horrible accident. Can you please elaborate on our situation going forward?
Seems to me you've understood it perfectly well. You work for Section 31. You will conduct Section 31 missions. Your primary mission will remain the same as it has been. We need more information about the Tilikal so that we can formulate defences should the Borg or greater threats resurface.
Of course. With pleasure.
I'll have more specific missions for you over time. We're just... my operatives are preparing one at the moment. Like I say, it should be with you in the morning.
Very well. Well, then we await more word. And it's a shame you're not here to enjoy this fine cuisine.
He looks over at the table, and the fairy sighs deeply. He says, Yes, I miss Gerard's cooking.
You're too kind, Director.
Anyway, Gerard, take care of yourself. The rest of you, welcome to Section 31. Be seeing you. And the hologram shuts off.
He never appears in person, does he?
No.
The funny feeling that our nocturnal visits were all hologram as well. That's what she said.
Funny, I always see him in person.
Does he always appear like that? To you?
Like what?
He hasn't exactly got a hate on it. Just like just appears and then disappears. Doesn't walk in through the door. Doesn't walk in through the door.
No, he's a big fan of doors. I've never seen him enter a room any other way until right now.
He's got spice poisoning.
Gerard, my first, since you are now under our wing, please submit yourself to the doctor to have your hearing checked, please.
Very well, Captain.
And doctor, if you will, when you have time, please enjoy the meal and then see to this man's obviously defunct hearing.
I heard that.
Oh, dear.
Zankir mutters, would you like a 10% raise?
Captain Quinn's raised an interesting question. Will you be opening some wine, Gerard?
Oh, yes. What pairs with... Yeah,
mainly asparagus.
Yeah.
I have a delicious Antarian brandy to wash this down. Would you gentlemen care for a sip?
Yeah, I'll try it.
Yes, in for a penny, in for a pound, why not?
I think you're going to be my kind of captain, Zankir.
I'll take that as a compliment.
So, tell us about how he opens the wine. Or brandy, rather.
Quick, very quick fluid gesture. A man who's in command of that bottle could have opened 1,000 of these before, for all anyone here knows. And glasses already lined up, splash, 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 straight along. Hands one to the captain first. Bottoms up, Zankir.
Of course. I'll swill it, take a sniff, and then throw it back.
To the Livingstone.
Agreed.
Livingstone. Wraal will take a sip and not as bad as I thought. Feared.
So Wraal takes a sip. Zankir, do you take a sip? Bosh
Yeah, smack it back.
takes a
Wallop.
big wee dram. And as the brandy hits the back of your throats, that's where we leave it for this evening.
Oh,
Oh, yes.
Well,
Oof.
that was an eventful game. Not many
It
rolls.
was. A good one.
Very eventful. Very, very well done.
Like a page and a half on the notes. Loads happened.
Yeah. How are we feeling about it now?
It's still well sus that Bashir never turns up in person. Ever.
Apparently he does to Jared.
Yeah. I imagine that much time in a hot kitchen surrounded only by alcohol and asparagus. Probably.
Maybe he is turning up in person, but maybe he's just a force ghost.
Oh, yeah, that's true. Yeah, I didn't look for any sort of blue wibbly thing.
Yeah.
Yeah. Interesting. Well, it's going to get rather good from here, I suspect. Especially now you've got all your toys back.
Yeah. We got some stuff to, but we actually get to take the yacht out.
Yeah, I am dying
We
to
haven't
get
been able to
Henrietta
play
out
with
for a
it yet.
spin.
I've got stats for Henrietta.
Never really used it before we got locked down. We never got to use it.
That's it. Well, fantastic. Are we all around in a fortnight's time, or hoping to be?
Yeah.
As far as I know. Yeah.
Fantastic.
I'm going to be in a funny time zone, but I should be okay.
They're all funny time
I'm
zones.
I'm always in
Actually-
a funny time zone. So.
Pretty much the same funny time zone as Chris, I think.
We're
Roughly.
all in the
Really?
same time zone. It's always Zulu.
It's 5 o'clock somewhere.
Off to Merca.
Canadia.
Oh, Canadia. Oh, Canadia. Yeah, wonderful. So we'll be back in a fortnight's time then, and that'll be one just before we go to Destination Trek. Hey, Alastair, in Birmingham.
Indeed. So you joining us, Ed?
No, I'm not. I'm not able to get any leave for that. Alas.
Oh no.
Boo.
Not to worry. Well, we'll tell you all about it. But yes, we have another Star Trek Livingstone in the meantime. And no doubt there'll be an actual mission with some actual proper rolling going on. So join us for that. In the meantime, you don't stop playing because you grow old.
You stop playing because no one explained the rules because they all speak Northern.
That'll do. Live long and prosper, everyone. Take care for now. Bye.
Goodbye.